things. Oh, they gotta fix those exterior walls. Those do not look good. Haha, yes. Can't let anybody know about this pastime. Oh! Hey, how you been? I hear you're just starting a new job, and you're excited about it. And you should be. Couple things though. Just some things that I thought that your uncle, would warn you about. Nothing to worry about too much, just some tips that might help you. Just give me a sec. Oh, the doctor said I have to watch my triglycerides. There's too much fat in my blood. I mean, I try not to take it as an insult, It just means I gotta cut back on the snack food. And I've been killing those bags of Doritos. Ooh, got that cranberry ginger ale. Oh yeah. I really should drink more water than soda. But hey, I'm getting to be an old man. Anyways, you've had probably some experience with jobs in the past, right? Be it fast food or retail, things like that, maybe construction. First things first, don't mess around and date anybody who you work with. I remember when I was your age, I was working at a fast food place. It was crappy. There was a woman there who was, I think, 20. I was 15, 16. I don't know what happened. One thing led to another, and then we started having a little thing. Well, I bike rode all the way in 2 hours. Go to see her. She does some weird stuff. She wasn't wearing any pants, but I digress. We go over to her grandpa's house where she lived, and I'm sitting there on the back deck. And all of a sudden I start hearing this moaning, and I'm like, what is that? And she's like, oh, my grandpa's watching porn. I was like, what? And this really happened. This dude who was 70, he's sitting there blasting this crap with the door open. And I'm like, what? What? But it gets weird. So she says she doesn't like me because I listened to metal music back then. And she's like, oh, I thought you listened to rap. And it's people are bizarre. You've heard of that whole NPC meme or whatever. A lot of people take that politically. But I more so think it's an NPC thing to suddenly lose interest in someone because they don't listen to a type of music. It's oh, you like the color blue. I thought you liked pink. See ya. But it gets weirder. After that, they hired some dude. He was working cashier. I was making the food. So this dude was working cashier. Mind you, this woman's in her 20s, maybe early 20s. This dude comes in, he's 25. He starts dating her, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I got fired later on, but that was a crappy job anyway. Woo. Anyways, do not, I repeat, don't get involved and date people at your jobs. Be that a fast food job, be that at a construction job, you'd probably be dating another guy, which, no problem with that, but, well, actually, I think there might be a lot of gay dudes in construction. Who knows? You've heard of how there's, the gay dudes are, the really masculine dudes. That'd be a good spot to hide if you were a gay dude. You're around, dudes who lift, the heavy stuff all day. And, they're working out, so, I guess that or a gym. But I'm gonna go on the assumption that most dudes who work in construction are straight, so you probably don't have to worry about dating your coworkers then. And hey, I won't judge you if you do. But retail too. Just don't mess with it because it creates unnecessary drama. Your goal at a job like that, or any job for that matter, keep things friendly. Not like too friendly to the point you start getting into politics and stuff, and certainly not dating. Now, that goes for office work, anything. We got that out of the way. Perfect. Second thing to avoid. You know how I was just talking about how it's good to have friends at work? Let's think of them more as it's good to have acquaintances at work. People you can hang out with, sometimes go out. I wouldn't recommend getting drunk because when you get drunk, you might say some things that might get around the office. But it's okay to go out and like have a drink or whatever, hang out. I would recommend leave politics out of work discussions with work friends, and also avoid drama. Don't be insulting any other coworkers. Don't be, look, you have to figure this, and this is true from my perspective of how I've seen things. If you tell someone something and it's like drama or whatever, you can expect 2 other people at least to hear about it. So if you got something like there's a coworker you're friends with, you're talking, and all of a sudden you say something about how you don't like another coworker, you can expect that coworker to hear it. They're going to hear it. Because the thing is, in a workplace environment, it's okay to have your friends, but you gotta understand it's different. It's different than a friend you've known since elementary or high school or even preschool. Person I've known the longest, I've known since 2000, so 25 years. And I'm 30, so it's been a while. Granted, I don't talk to him anymore, but he's a cool dude. I like him. I just don't talk to him. I don't know. But these work friends, keep them at an arm's length, but cordially. If you want to hang out with them more, that's awesome. But like, you really gotta understand, it's a different world than a friend you'll meet outside of work. And hey, maybe if you get to know this person for decades and decades, then it might be different. But if you just started at a place, you don't really know anyone's true underlying intentions. Some people are always trying to go right to the top. They're trying to get on the good side of the people in charge, managers, whatever, for purely selfish reasons. They want that power. Because for some people, power is everything. And, I mean, do you really want to be the person who becomes the stepping stone for this other person who you thought was your friend so they can get a leg up? No. Here's what I do. And I try to be genuine with this. A lot of the times, when you go to work, you'll have coworkers you dislike, coworkers you maybe for some people even hate. Try to avoid that. Try to go in there with this mindset. While I'm here, I have no enemies. I like everyone here. And I know what you mean. There might be like a coworker you really annoys you. Try to see him as a person and try to just say, hey, we work together. I want to make things go smoothly. I like this person. And for me, I don't really hate anybody. I would say I like all my coworkers. If there's coworkers who dislike me, well, it's hard sometimes because it's like what's your problem? But then you have to think, who knows what's going on in this person's life? And if you automatically assume that because someone is at a higher station than you, that somehow means they haven't been through bad things or suffered, or they don't deserve to be where they are because they've earned it over time, it kind of dehumanizes them. And the thing is, everyone's different, right? You don't know if if maybe they're going through depression, or if they've got some sort of like an underlying issue, like a mental disorder or something like that. You never know. I find that a lot of the time people aren't just genuine assholes for the sake of being assholes, Usually there's something underneath it. But if you don't go in there and be someone who holds grudges, and you go in there as somebody who likes everyone, who's just there to help, there to be a positive influence in the workplace, I think that's great. You're always going to have people who you don't always see eye to eye with. That's okay. Don't let it get to you. Once you go in that building, shut the exterior stuff off. Just focus A to B, doing your job, being pleasant, and being someone who, like I said, is a good role model for those around. And hey, maybe you might even change the mind of some people who dislike you. Obviously, not everyone's going to go in with this same mindset I'm telling you to go in with, but you could change their mind just by talking to them. And if not, hey, it doesn't hurt anybody to be kind, right? So let's see. Number 3. Try to curse as little as possible at work. Obviously, this is different depending on where you're at, right? If you're in construction, I'm sure they don't care. Like, I've worked construction briefly, mostly just cleaning, a lot of janitorial stuff, cleaning at like lumber places and stuff like that. People let the F-bombs fly. But if you're in a fast food establishment, if you're in a public-facing establishment or an office, I would assume some sort of government job if you got that, which, hey, congratulations if you did. Those are hard to get. You gotta understand where you are, and you have to modify your language. If you got a problem with dropping F-bombs, if you have to, perhaps monitor yourself more closely. Always think of what you say before you say it, so you don't drop an F-bomb and then have to be in the owner's office getting yelled at. Or maybe look for a job that's not as public facing. I've worked a lot of overnight jobs. I once did something where I was like they call it a e-commerce clerk. And it's kind of a fancy new thing. I hope that they still keep it and AI doesn't take that job too. But you would have people ordering these things online. You'd go in, you'd take the order, you'd be like, oh, okay. You get your little zebra Palm Pilot thingy. You look at it, it's got all the orders, so you think, okay, cool, I've picked this order. I'm gonna go out, pick the frozen stuff, pick the deli stuff, pick the veggies, pick the fruits, all that, pick the snacks. Then I'm gonna take it to the back on a big cart, put it into some totes, separate it, and then put it away for people who do deliveries to do in the morning, right? You go to the point of sale system, the POS system. You get your receipt, you're good to go. That job, you only work with one other person for most of the day, and the last 2 hours were just like other coworkers. So at that point, stop swearing. But if you walk around swearing to yourself, maybe you should work on that too when you're alone. I don't know, I talk to myself when I drive, but hey, who doesn't, right? So monitor your swearing. Also, of course, dress appropriately. I don't see too many guys wearing like mini skirts at work. Unless you like work in like a strip club or something. A gay strip club, which, do those even exist? They must. I've never seen one, but no, I'm not just saying I've never seen one. I've never seen one. I'll have you know, I've never set foot into a strip club, even though I can. Not worth the time, not worth the money, and I'm not putting down people who do that, but it's just like, I don't need to pay to see someone naked, I'd rather, well, I'm broke all the time, but if I had money, I'd rather save the money. You can hear the storm outside too. It was a very serious, dark and stormy night. This is like, I don't know, one of those weird like early 2000s psychological dramas where it's storming out all the time. work stuff because I've been there. Worked jobs, left jobs, been fired. I've been there. But it's serious, dead serious, deadly serious. Right? So, no relationships with coworkers. Monitor your swearing. Be careful what you say around your friends at work because you never know what someone's thinking. Dress appropriately for your health. Me, I got some hyperhidrosis. I'm always sweating all the time. I can be walking around in an air-conditioned room with beads of sweat coming down. It's annoying. You know why? It's because I got my thyroid. That's what happens when you get older. Your thyroid sometimes messes up. Me, got something called Hashimoto's. That's what I get for listening to like Japanese pop music. I got Hashimoto's from it. I'm just kidding. No, I got Hashimoto's because I have a crappy thyroid. But that caused me to lose a bunch of weight. I was looking good. I was like 250, went down to 150, right? I was looking lean. Put me on that methimazole, and then boom, started ballooning up in weight again. And now I gotta dress appropriately because I sweat all the time. And I gained so much weight, the fat's in my blood, man. It's in my blood. But that's not a problem. You know why? Because I'm going to work on losing weight with one meal a day, and it's difficult. I get headaches when I don't eat because I need the food. You condition yourself to it. Wait, where am I going with this? Yeah. Dress. I can't go to work wearing a mask, right? I mean, if I was a professional bank robber, I could, but that's not really a real profession. Dress like, what would that even be? Like, I know there's like organized crime and stuff, but that's not really a profession. That's like a thing you do on the side. With I don't know. It's. I wonder if during COVID somebody was like, oh, they need me to wear a mask. Here we go. I'll wear this. I'm sure there's someone out there who was like, oh, you want me to mask up, huh? Well, here you go. Here's the mask. It's like, really? But I digress. This is the thing. Business casual setting. Wear the polos. You can get them cheap. You can get them used. You can get them wholesale. Easy. People might say, oh, you're dressed up like Tony Soprano in like 1999. I'm like, no. I'll have you know the Kirkland polos are good. I was sneezing. The Kirkland polos are good. They're comfortable. They're business casual, and don't tell me I'm wearing a bowling shirt. I'm not. It's a polo. Golfers wear it. It looks good. Get you some golf pants. It's like sort of like a dress pant, but also not as expensive, not as, hooty tooty or whatever. It's just something that looks decent. Get you some cheap dress shoes. I recommend ones that don't have laces. If you want laces, you can, but it just makes you look put together. And that's part of the thing. A lot of it comes down to impressions. I wish society wasn't that way, but it is. Impressions mean a lot. Fake it till you make it. If you look like you're someone who's doing well, who can take care of themselves, who is responsible, that reflects positive. Oh my word. I gotta stop with that. Canada Dry. If you look like someone put together, who's taking themselves seriously, it reflects well on you. This is true. I'll go into like stores, like dollar stores and stuff, with my polos, just walking around. I got my polos, my black pants, my dress shoes. People walk up to me. This has happened multiple times. They walk up to me. They say, "You work here?" I just give them a look like, "No," and then I walk away. But I look so professional. They think I work there. I've tried to apply there. I don't. I couldn't get hired, but they think I could. If I wanted to just walk around cosplay like I worked somewhere, I've got the dress. You know what that tells me? I'm doing it right. They think I work there already. That means it's succeeding. So I'd recommend polo shirts. It doesn't have to be Ralph Lauren, just any kind of polo. You can get decent ones at Walmart. This from Walmart cost me like $20. Got the pants from Walmart, cost me like $25. Shoes from Walmart cost me like, I used to get $20 shoes, now I get $45 shoes. If you're on a budget, believe me, every dollar you can save counts. And I know coming from me, I have no dollars. Well, I got $1. Well, I got negative $17. But since I already have $1 in my bank account and my savings, I actually have negative $16, but I get paid soon. So therefore, I will have a little bit of money. Not much, but a little bit. And every dollar you got is a dollar you didn't have before. That's a dollar you can put towards savings. So, where were we? Dress. Yes, dress appropriately. I mean, if you're watching this and you're a girl, then yeah, you can probably wear like a skirt like a little lower than like little past knees, I would say. And yeah, if you wanted to, most women I see wear like leggings and stuff. Leggings and like kind of like women's polos. If I had to say, I don't really see women who wear jeans. But you know what the crappy thing about women's clothing is? And no, I don't wear women's clothing. Unless like I was like trying to do a new mask and it was like a pantyhose over the head, but that's too creepy. Anyways, and no, I don't wear women's clothing, okay? But you ever notice that women's clothing has no pockets? Like it's a pain in the ass. You can fit like 1/4 of a cell phone in your pocket. So it's always falling out and breaking. That's probably how they make money, selling those screen protectors. Excuse me. Let me censor this. That's probably how they get you selling those screen protectors. Because women's clothing makes the phone fall out. Even like the bunny hug, like the sweater thingies. Either they don't zip up all the way or the pockets only like this wide. Or they have fake pockets. I even got that on my Walmart pants. One of the back pockets is like sewn up. It's like, why? I want both back pockets. I put my wallet in there. I could put something else on the other side. I mean, I guess you really don't need 2 back pockets unless you're carrying a bunch of stuff. But what? Sorry. Anyways, I got a bit distracted. Like I said, I'm getting up there in age. A little bit up there. Goals to live to be at least 80. Obviously, I gotta get my weight down. Get the lifting up. You know, take care of myself. Another tip for you. It's good to be focused on the future. But don't let yourself get so focused on the future that you don't focus on your day-to-day job. Make sure you take care of everything. Be present, and I know that's hard. There's so many distractions now. You always want to be able to get off work and get at home. But you gotta focus on doing the absolute best you can day to day. That makes you stand out. And I'm sure there are people who hire based on stupid things or based on like whatever kind of personal agenda they have. To heck with them. Capital H, heck. For you, you go in there. Focus on your day-to-day stuff. Focus on being genuine, being kind, making sure that you're doing the best you can. And sometimes it's a struggle. I gotta make sure that I do the best I can. Sometimes I feel like I'm not strict enough. I try to be kind. I try to show kindness. And it's okay. But when you're doing your day-to-day thing, be there. Show kindness. But don't let people walk on you either. It's not about being mean. It's just about being like, hey, I'm here for a reason. Got that imposter syndrome? If you've got that imposter syndrome, you think you don't belong there. No, no, no. If you got hired, I don't care how high up the job is, how far away from entry level, if it's like a high paying thing, an important thing, which all jobs are important, but if you're like up there, you got there on your own merits. You're there for a reason. You don't just fluke into it. Some people have nepotism, but Onk didn't. I didn't have nepotism. I had dad slap my face-atism. That's when he slapped me. video games. You know, they have like the daily missions sometimes. Do that. You want to focus on each. What's a better way to put it? You know, there's levels, and it's all going towards the overarching plot and mission. Treat each day like a level. You know, go in there. Today we gotta complete this objective, this. Done. That's one day when you gave 100% to the present. Next day, give 100% to the present. Keep doing it. If you only work 5 days a week, that's cool. Perfect. If you only work 4 days a week, awesome. I know in some places in Europe, they're like experimenting with a 4-day work week, or like shorter work days. I think that's fine, as long as you make sure pay goes up with it. It's fine to work 6 hours a day, why not? Maybe even 5 hours a day would be a good maximum. It gives you more time to unwind, but you know how money is. Like, I might be Ankh, but I'm not like Ankh to where I was like born in like the 70s, which, no offense to any of my older folks, my dad's 1976. You know, I know that money doesn't really get you too much now. And maybe sometimes it might seem like that paycheck isn't enough and not worth it. But you gotta make sure you stay happy, because if you get depressed, you're gonna get into that echo chamber. Make sure you stay day by day by day by day, focusing on those right in front of you tasks. And eventually, you will be able to accomplish your overarching goal. This is something I struggled with my whole 20s. I mentioned it in another video. I always wanted to have something to impress my family and friends with, and eventually I found myself drifting away from them, be it intentionally or unintentionally, cutting them off until I had something amazing, something that was going to make them view me as an equal, something that was going to make them view me as someone worth being around. I always felt like I was below everybody else, like I wasn't on their level of just anybody. And you know what happened? Eventually I was able to pick myself up a bit, thanks to luck, help, and I believe God. Thanks to miracle. But the time that I spent thinking that, oh, I'm gonna have something to show them, I'll show them, I got something to show them, that I'll make it so that they love me. They see me as someone of value, not just the third wheel, not just the extra person who they say, oh, you know, let's have a group chat without him in it, and then one with him in it, or we're gonna have a party, should we invite him? No. I wanted to have something to show them. All the time I spent wanting to be someone who they perceived of value, I was just wasting time. It was like being in stasis. And when you don't focus on the present, you might find yourself doing that too and not even realize it. You're so worried about a future goal that you're not focusing on the steps you have to take to get there. And I've been down that road. Try your best to focus on stuff daily that you can do. If you got ADHD like me, a bit harder, but still possible. Right now, I gotta focus on actually losing weight. Because I admit, back when I used to lift a little bit, I would lift the milk jugs filled with sand. It really does work. By the way, fill milk jugs up with sand, not rocks, because the weight distribution's too uneven. Fill them up with sand, lift them, sets of 15 each arm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, do your overheads. Eventually, you gain muscle, and I stopped spending money because I didn't have money because I was jobless at that time. I started losing weight. I started getting more in shape. My GERD wasn't acting up, wasn't having heartburn all the time. I was able to not have my stomach and esophagus making weird noises. I was starting to heal. I think focusing on day-to-day stuff like that is a way to heal, and I'm going to challenge myself also to kind of follow that for real. Actually do 1 meal a day diet, maybe 1 meal a day and skip eating the next day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, lifting my dumbbells gymnastics, things like that, walking around, getting active. It is all calories in and calories out, but when you've got ADHD and stuff, maybe you do too, I don't know. When you've got that, it can make it difficult sometimes because you get so bored that you need vices like food, or some people smoke, things like that. You have to find a way to avoid those pitfalls, because think about it. You go and eat fast food or you smoke, you don't feel better after it. It just takes your money, takes a bit of your life. It's not worth it. You don't even feel good. That's for any of these vices. All it does is take the you out of you. So, do you kind of get what I'm saying when it comes to work? Be cautious, kind, look out for yourself. Don't be selfish. Just try your best to protect yourself, but also show that you're someone of value to the company anywhere. And remember, damn it, I gotta do more New York Times crosswords. Anyway, I'm glad you stopped by. I was happy to see you again. Your Unc is always there for you. And let me know next time you need some advice. I'll give it to you. Let me know in the comments what advice you want Unc to give you. I'll give you the advice. I'll see you next time. Next time you need help, that is. Because I'm Unc, not the ASMR guy. I just whisper because I have laryngitis.